Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm coming to you with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 1, Episode 5. Yes, I am in my car with the hoodie on because the hair is just not right. It's just been a long day, and I was like, let me just throw the hood on because I'm not wrapping up nothing. I wanted to get out here and do this review pronto. Just got done watching the show, y'all. This show is good. Carlos King, baby, you have done it again. And did y'all see the preview for Family or Fiance, I think is what it was called? VH1, WeTV, MTV, all of y'all take note, okay? Because the OWN network is giving us show after show after show after show, and I will be watching that one as well, and I probably will be reviewing it because it looks like it's going to be pretty good. But Love and Marriage Huntsville, this is a good episode, y'all. Let's get some of the preliminaries out the way because we got to get straight into the meat and potatoes, which is this bachelor party. So, get some of the sweet stuff out the way. I thought it was very sweet that Monster was excited about them joining together as a family and saying that he thought they already were a family. Excited about the wedding. I love the way he hugged on Kimmie. I love to see a blended family come together because that could be really hard to achieve. I was concerned that the mom, the way that she said no about them getting married on the yacht, like about her not knowing, it made me wonder, I'm sure she knew they were getting married, but is she feeling some type of way about it? Like that, maybe that's going to come back up for us. So I guess we'll see. But enough with that. Let's talk about Tisha and her messy behind. So she goes out on a lunch date with Mel, and they're talking about the business contacts that Tisha made. Tisha's trying to stay in touch. Trying to send emails so she doesn't lose contact, but also trying to figure out how she's going to work everything out with the kids and finding sitters and what day she's going to do business, what day she's going to do this, what day she's going to do that. And Mel is like, well, if you're trying to work something out and you already have a friend that's kind of doing it and that friend has the blueprint, then why don't you allow that friend to help you out? I can give you the blueprint. I can give you, how I make it work because I'm already doing it. Tisha seems to think, well, actually, before I even say that, you would think that Tisha is listening to her friend and just kind of taking in what her friend has to say, right? That's what it appears to be on the show. And so as Mel is going on, she's just like, let me give you the blueprint. I got the blueprint. I got kids and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And Letitia's just like, yeah, you are doing those things, but you also had the support of your husband. Like, we got two different blueprints going on. Your husband is different from my husband, and I'm going to have to do things differently. So that's when Mel is just like, well, when it comes to your husband, at some point in time, you have to take a stand. Like, let's say in my situation. In my situation, y'all, these are key words, okay? Listen to these words. My situation, when you're dealing with infidelity and cheating and betrayal, you have to stand up and do what's right for you. And what I did was, she talks about how she moved out with the kids and she was gone for 6 months, and it made Martell realize that I'm not just going to accept any old thing. We've heard her say it before, right? Okay. So then tell me why later, when Tisha goes to talk to Kimmie, she is almost mocking Mel. All right, she's just like, and she was talking to me and she was just like, I have the blueprint, Tisha. Let me give you the blueprint, girl. Let me give you the blueprint. Let me tell you how it's going to go down because I got the blueprint for a successful marriage. I'm already doing it. When did she ever say that? I rewound it and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. When did Mel say she had the blueprint for a successful marriage? Because I didn't hear that. Did you? Then she goes on to tell Kimmie that she was talking about how she had to take a stand and how she had to leave. And do you think she's asking me or telling me that I need to leave Marcel? And so Kimmie, of course, when you hear your friend talking about a situation that somebody has given them some advice on and it don't sound right, of course you're going to have an opinion. Right? So she's just like, no, she's not telling you to leave Marcel. That would be freaking crazy. And no, she doesn't really have the blueprint on a successful marriage because she's got her own stuff going on in her marriage, which is true. Okay, everybody needs to worry about their own marriage, which is also true. And I don't know if I would take that advice. And for somebody to say that they have the blueprint, it almost sounds like they want you to be their mini-me. Like, You want a mini me? You want a mini Tisha? And Tisha's like, I know, like, why does she want me to be like her? Like, I don't want to be like you. I want to be like me. I want to be like a mess, you guys. Tisha is a whole mess, and she's doing exactly what I thought that she would try to do. Remember when I told y'all last episode that these two were going to be getting into it and it's going to be over Tisha? I thought that it would be because Tisha is just kind of being pulled in the middle. But now I see that Tisha is the orchestrator of it all. Now, granted, Kimmie and Melody probably would have never rocked real tight because their personalities rub off on each other. But Tisha doesn't make it any better because she goes back to Kimmie and says things about Mel and she exaggerates them in a way where it's like Mel is being pretentious where she's not being that way. And so Kimmie feels confirmed and validated in the fact that, yep, I knew she was like that. I knew she was like this. When that's not really exactly what's going on, but Tisha's making it seem that way. And that's what you call being messy. Because you didn't have none of that same energy, as the people say, when you were sitting in front of Mel. You didn't tell her, I'm not trying to be like you. Okay? You don't really have a blueprint. You didn't have that same thing to say, but when you got with Kimmie, you made it seem as if she was trying to push her way onto you. You guys, I do not like Tisha. That confirmed it for me. I wasn't sure where I stood with her, but now for sure, I don't think I like her. And you already know I don't like her husband. And I'm not really one to say I just don't like people, but I'm going to say I outright don't like these two. Okay, and that's all, that's it. Still got some beautiful kids, though. So, Kimmie, of course, is, giving her opinion as somebody would, and there's nothing wrong with it, but she's giving her opinion based on a flawed perception of what Tisha is telling her. I wonder how she felt going back after and actually watching what happened on the show. I wonder how Mel felt as well. And I don't want y'all to think I'm caping for Mel, because she got her stuff with her, which we gonna get to, but in that situation, I felt like Tisha was being all the way messy. Then she brings up the single mom thing again. Y'all know Kimmie ain't really trying to hear all of that. And I always feel like, you're validated in feeling how you feel, even if it's a little bit skewed, your overall vision of the situation. I don't care for Tisha, but she is validated in feeling unsupported, Yes, the financial means are there, but the physical means, doing the work, helping me with the kids, is not there. Okay, so I can see why they're never gonna come to an agreement on it, because a single mother is a single mother, and it is a hard job, and it helps if you got a check coming in, but they're never gonna see eye to eye on that. We don't even have to rehash that too much, but yeah, I just thought the whole thing was messy the way that she was doing it. And when Mel was talking about leaving and all of that stuff, she wasn't saying that Tisha needed to leave or that Tisha needed to do what she did. She's trying to tell Tisha the stand that she had to take in her marriage, in her situation. You have to take a specific stand in your situation. Not saying it needs to look like mine, but a stand you can take. So for Tisha to be going all of that route, she just simple, y'all. She's simple and she messy. Let's move forward. We can't waste too much time on the trivial. Okay. So then we go to the Holt house. All right. The Holt house is getting ready to prepare to go to Miami, as everybody is, okay? The Scotts were getting ready. The Holts were getting ready. The Scotts didn't really have too much going on, bachelor party talk and what's going to be going on here, what's going to be going on there. Y'all know stuff that couples do. And the Holts are getting prepared, and Melody is talking about how this whole situation is reminding her of her wedding, okay, and how they got married back when she was 22 years old. And Martell is not Martell. These M's. Martell is just like, if you could do it all over again and I got down on one knee, wouldn't you say yes? And Melody is looking down at him like, no. Actually, I would not say yes. So now they're into it, y'all. They're arguing. And I got to look down at my notes to make sure I keep up with it. Okay. So she believes that now the way that she saw marriage back then and the way that she saw marriage today is a little bit different. If she could have looked down the road and foreseen some of the future and the problems that they were going to have, would she say yes? Probably not. And Marcel, I keep messing it up, probably because he's starting to act like him. But Martell is just like, girl, please. You know, I gave you a better life. I did all kind of stuff for you. I gave you your life. And y'all, I had a flashback to Stevie J. Y'all remember he used to always say that to Jocelyn, and I wanted to be like, if you're going to give me a life and then you're going to constantly take it back, then don't give me no life, Stevie. Don't give me no life. That's what she should have told him. And how egotistical and arrogant is it for somebody to say, I gave you your life. I gave you a better life. See, you got to watch people like that. But we knew he had that arrogance in him. He's even admitted it himself. So they go on and they keep going back and forth. And Melody is trying to get him to understand, like, you don't believe that some of the things that you did were led to me feeling this way, that some of the things that you did, you were out here seeing this other woman, the things that you were doing, sleeping around, it led to me feeling this way. I couldn't have foresaw the things that were coming down the pipeline with you. And he was just like, you didn't know what you were going to get into. You were 22 years old. You didn't know what you wanted. You didn't know what you were expecting. But I gave you a lot. I've done a lot for you. And you was out there doing stuff. You were doing stuff I didn't approve of, just like I was doing stuff you didn't approve of. And she was like, oh, what was I doing? And he brings up the fact that she wasn't cooking and they weren't having sex. And basically that gave him a license to step out, because if you were taking care of your business, then I wouldn't have had to get my needs met elsewhere. So, of course, this has Mel outdone. And we learned then, because I've been wondering this the whole time, this is where we learned that Martell never really presented to her that he was unhappy with how things were going in the marriage. Because when she says, did you ever say to me that you weren't happy? Did you ever say we needed to go to counseling? Did you ever say, babe, you're not talking to me? Did you ever say we weren't having enough sex? Like, you put more responsibilities for the business onto me, but then you expected for me to still be cooking and cleaning and having sex, even with these other things on me, and you never talked to me about how you felt. And there we see that they have had a communication problem, and probably for a long time. And this is why it's very important, even if it's hurtful, you need to be very, very honest with your partner. But I will say this, Melody is the type of person who will seemingly say that they forgive you and then continue to throw it in your face. And that's because she hasn't gotten over it. And in order for these two to get over it, I do believe that counseling is going to need to be involved. However, I wonder if Martell is one of those people who can offer the counseling advice for others, but then won't go do it himself. Because Melody kept throwing up how he was quick to offer counseling for other couples, their friends, but then never suggested that they do the same. So they definitely have a communication issue. It seems that Martell did not let Melody know he was unhappy. He took that as a license to step out. Melody may not have been doing all the things that she used to do, but she also had a lot on her plate from work, and that's not offering her an excuse either. But neither of them took the time to communicate about their marriage, which has led to the problems that they've had and are undoubtedly still having. So Martell doesn't really want to talk about it anymore. He's telling her, you know why people break up? You know why people get divorced? Because the wife talk too much. The wife run her mouth too much. That's why the men leave. That's why the men leave. So Melody, more and more, she's trying to get her point across. And she was just like, you know what? You know what it is? What you need to do is you just need to admit that marriage is not what you expected it to be. That I was not enough for you. That I'm not really enough woman for you to be satisfied with. The things I do for you were not enough. And he's just like, Melody, I just want you to stop. They're not coming to any agreement. They're going back and forth with each other. You know, she's telling him, well, maybe you just need two women. And he's agreeing and brings up the Bible, which... this is an interesting conversation, you guys. Let's have a little segue here. What do you guys think about polygamy? Like, what are your thoughts? Your true thoughts, okay? It's like there's some points in the Bible, you know, I had to get into my word, where they do talk about polygamy several times in the Old Testament, but then they also warn against having multiple wives in certain part of the Bible. And you remember with Solomon, how his wives led him to worship idol gods. It also says that, let's see here, Deuteronomy 17:14-20, that the kings should not multiply their wives or horses or gold. Then whenever it talks in Genesis about man and wife, it always uses a singular form. Then in Ephesians, it talks about having one husband and one wife. In Titus, it talks about having the husband of one wife. But then in other parts of the Bible, it talks about the kings having the multiple wives. So I've always felt like in that time, it may have been better to share a husband than, your other options, which was slavery, prostitution, or possibly being protected by, some male figure in your family, but then they had their own wife to protect. So women wanted to be married off, and that way they could be protected and provided for. Versus today's time where things are a little bit different. Yeah, you guys, I don't know. I always say men who want to follow polygamy, although it's illegal, by law. If you want to follow polygamy and you want to bring up the Bible, just be prepared to be a biblical man. And then, if that's your thing and the women happy with it, I always say, do what you do. Okay. I've learned to expand my worldview quite a bit. I try to stay well versed on many religions and all of that. So, if you a Hebrew Israelite or, you believe in the African religion and you take on multiple wives, as long as you are prepared to protect and provide. Okay, those, if that's what you're going to do, then do that. Now, it ain't going to work for me. It ain't going to work for me. So, I can't be your other wife. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about that whole conversation. But Martell snatched it back real quick. He was just like, but I don't want no other wife. Okay, I don't want two women. I just want you. I just want you. And this is when Melody started up with the trophy that you have. And I get that Melody knows her worth. I get that. That's why she keeps calling herself a trophy. But sometimes it does come off as like, I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. And maybe that's why the two of them are together, because both of them might be a little bit arrogant. But basically what it boils down to me is these two have a major, major communication problem. It has led to the breakdown of their marriage. And I'm afraid that if they don't pull it together, if they don't get some type of mediator in there, it's never going to be what it's supposed to be. Martell is extremely arrogant. He believes that his actions were solidified and okay because Mel wasn't doing what she needed to do as a wife. But even Mel says there were things that she wanted as a wife that he wasn't doing as a husband. Certain things in the bedroom and whatnot, get a little freaky, that he didn't want to do. And she didn't step out on him. So, you just got to you got to call a thing, Martell. You got to be fair. All right? Just because you didn't feel like you were getting what you were supposed to, if you never verbalized that, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you ain't going to give me no head tonight. That's not verbalizing what the problem is. You had a whole girlfriend, a whole relationship. Own it, bruh. Own it. Marriages get tough. You don't always get what you want, but that doesn't mean that you get to step out and try to fulfill your needs elsewhere. And that's what he keeps saying. She was just a place filler. A place filler that you had a whole relationship with. Come on now. It wasn't just sex. It wasn't just sex. Come on now. You probably paid bills too. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Now we can't be telling no lies around here. She was more than that. And you need to admit it. But like I said, we got to move on. So I guess the argument must have set them back a bit, because once everybody gets over to Miami and they get together as a couple to go out to eat, and they're discussing the bachelor party and what goes on in Miami, stays in Miami, all this, that, and the third, the Holts are not there for the couples night. And Tisha is going on and on. Where's Melody? I hope everything is okay. When you know good and full well, she's not concerned about Melody. She's just mad that she ain't got nobody there to throw shade on and talk about their marriage. the way she been doing the past couple of episodes when it comes to her. But Kimmie is just like, I don't care where they are. And rightfully so. But I knew what Kimmie meant. Like, it's not like I don't care about their well-being or the well-being of their marriage. I'm saying I'm getting married. I ain't got time to be stressed about where Melody is. Okay, just as simple as that, right? I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I don't believe that Melody and Kimmie are real friends. I don't. I believe they're more business partners than they are friends. And they may prove me wrong later on down the road, but it's more business with them than friendship. And I still feel like Tisha got her hand in some of that. So anyway, the bachelor party, y'all. I just want to go straight to it. I want to skip the preliminaries of, Melody and Martell and blah, blah, blah. And when they finally get there, Melody do end up getting there. When she get there, the girl looks good. Okay, I'll give her that. But the bachelorette party, y'all, it looked pretty, it looked pretty mild, as I knew it was going to be. Kimmie mama was there. But I did think it was very sweet when she talked about how everything happens for a reason and how much she loves Maurice. And when Maurice is talking about her and saying that, he was waiting on the other shoe to drop, but she had both of them on and she was wearing the hell out of them, I thought that was cute. And what was wrong with Hussein talking about how much he loved his woman and how he loved being married? Wasn't nothing wrong with that. Y'all was trying to play that man. That was sweet. But, y'all, we get to this bachelor party. And Maurice ain't getting married, y'all. Martell is getting married. Martell has on a Hawaiian shirt. He's yelling in the microphone. He's drinking. He don't normally drink. He is turned all the way up. He's slapping booty. He talking to dancers. He grabbing them on the hand. He whispering to them. He is when you are at a party and you start doing this, woo! You having a real good time. A real good time. And Maurice, I don't know what Maurice was doing, y'all. Like, occasionally he was getting behind some of the strippers. But Maurice was doing, like, calisthenics and Pilates and yoga poses and hip thrusts. And at one point, he was on the edge of the stage doing the butterfly by himself. I was very confused as to what, like, Maurice was toe-up drunk. He is what we call he was drinking Patron straight out of the bottle. Bruh was drunk. When you start doing the butterfly by yourself, the butterfly and the Tootsie Roll ain't on, you drunk. So, Martell got the strippers down in his lap. I'm talking about, could do one of these. Can y'all see my hips? You guys, that bachelor party was a show out. And then, who was the strippers? Because they look like regular girls. Like, they might have just been on the strip and came in the club and got on the pole. They didn't really look like actual strippers. Marcel was kind of being like, the camp leader, buying drinks and I guess providing stacks of money. I don't really know what Marcel was doing. But, the bachelorette party went the way that bachelorette parties, in my opinion, are supposed to go. I don't know what the fallout is going to be from this, but I hope it's not going to be the women getting mad that the men were getting lap dances and spending money. As long as you're not taking money out of our mouths, it's not a big deal to me. As long as you were not kissing people in the mouth or having sex, again, it's not a big deal to me. Like, I don't know why some women get so worked up about the strip club. I've never been one of those girls. And maybe it's because I'm a millennial. And I'm a millennial from the South. So strip club culture is nothing. Like, the men and the women go to strip clubs out here. I've been going to strip clubs since I was probably about 18 years old, getting wings, getting dances. I mean, I ain't about to sit here and lie to nobody. So it's just what it is. It's not a big deal. I love the tricks. I love the poles. And I mean the tricks they do on the pole, not the actual tricks. You know what I mean? And, it's entertainment. Like, I don't care. It's not a big deal. I expect for somebody to have a good time on their bachelor party night. The one who's getting married, though. Not Martell, a.k.a. Marcus Holt. They said Martell was asleep. It was Marcus in the club that night. And he was showing out, y'all. He was showing completely out. I wouldn't be surprised if he got some numbers. Like, that's how hard Martell was going. Melody can't even enjoy herself because she's so worried about what Martell is doing, y'all. It's a shame. Them two really gonna have to get their communication on point, get some counseling. Don't try to flex for none of these people because we already know it ain't right. We already know it ain't right, and it's okay. You can work on it. But the first thing you do need to do, Melody, is see who your real friends are and who really supports you. Because you would be surprised at how much Tisha is not your support, and Kimmie actually could be. Okay, get into that. But yeah, Tisha and Marcel canceled. Canceled. I ain't never gonna see it for them. I don't care what happened later on in the show. I don't like neither one of them. They both messy. Marcel believes that his marriage is successful, and it is not, because your wife is going around here stirring up mess in somebody else's marriage that's already struggling, and it's almost like she gets pleasure in it because it makes her feel more confident in what she got going on over there with you. Y'all, the whole thing is just a mess. She ain't no real friend to nobody. But that's it, y'all. That's all I got to say. It's 25 minutes in. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the show. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if it was anything I forgot. Okay? Talk to y'all soon. Bye.